Welcome to the video lecture on reverse osmosis. So before going into the reverse osmosis, we shall see a topic of desalination. Desalination is otherwise called as desalting. It is the process of removal of sodium chloride, which we call it as common salt, from water. So desalination is removal of common salt known as sodium chloride from water. Some of the desalination processes are freezing, distillation, electrodialysis, and reverse osmosis. So the removal or the treatment of the dialysis in kidney is also related to a kind of desalination process. So freezing, distillation, electrodialysis, and reverse osmosis are other desalination process. We are going to look into the reverse osmosis in detail. Before going into the topic, we shall know about the classification of water based on the presence of dissolved salts. The water is classified into three types. Based on dissolved salts, water is classified into three types. Number one, fresh water. Number two, brackish water. Number three, sea water. So the fresh water will have a dissolved salt of less than 1000 ppm. Whereas the brackish water, the water which mix up with the sea, that water, the fresh water which is mixing up with the sea, we call it as a brackish water. It will not be too salty. It will not be as the same as that of the fresh water. So this water will be having a TDS of 1000 to 35,000 ppm. ppm, we know it's parts per million. So 1000 part of the dissolved salts present in million parts of water. Sea water will have greater than 35,000 ppm. So you can imagine the TDS or the total dissolved solids present in the sea water, how high it is compared to the fresh water. So this reverse osmosis plays a very important role in conversion of the sea water into the fresh water. Reverse osmosis helps in the conversion of sea water to fresh water. By a simple equipment arrangement. Before knowing about reverse osmosis, we shall know about what is this osmosis. Then only we will be able to understand reverse osmosis in a better way. Osmosis is a natural process which occurs in everybody's body, plants, animals due to respiration or various metabolic activities where water would get diffused from a low concentrated site to a high concentrated site. So osmosis is a natural process where the water gets diffused from a low concentrated site to a high concentrated site by applying osmotic pressure. So when two different solutions, concentrated solutions are separated by a semi-permeable membrane, when only water gets diffused from the low concentrated side to the high concentrated side. So here we can write diffusion of water. So osmosis is a natural process where the diffusion of water alone takes place from the low concentration side to the high concentration side by applying osmotic pressure. Now we would be able to understand this reverse osmosis. So reverse osmosis is the opposite or the reverse of this process. When two different concentrated solutions are separated by a semi-permeable membrane, the water flows from diffuse from high concentrated site to a low concentrated site. We can tell it the other way as sea water to fresh water. We call it as reverse osmosis. This cannot be carried out by osmotic pressure. This requires a pressure greater than the osmotic pressure, and we name it as hydrostatic pressure. It should be 15 to 40 kilogram per centimeter square, greater than osmotic pressure. We shall see the advantages and disadvantages. The merits of this reverse osmosis or advantages are the lifetime of the membrane is very high. Which is about 2 to 3 years. The installation and maintenance cost is low. and above which it helps in the removal of various ionic, non-ionic biomolecules. Removes ionic, non-ionic biomolecules such as proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, all those things can be removed by this. And colloidal silica. Colloidal silica is in the sense it is completely soluble with the water. We will not be able to separate that very easily. So, colloidal silica impurities can also be removed. So, some of the demerits are periodic cleaning of the membrane. So, in our houses all we would have installed in the AquaGuard or various purification systems where the replacement of the membrane is very much essential in frequent time. So, the same way here again replacement of the membrane is one criteria which add-ons to the demerits of reverse osmosis. Number 2 is pre-treatment of water is required. Pre-treatment is we are going to remove the floating objects which is just present in the water before adding on into the reverse osmosis apparatus. So, these are the merits and demerits. So, we shall now see a pictorial representation of this reverse osmosis. So, this is a representation showing reverse osmosis. One side we are having the sea water which is separated by a semi-permeable membrane, the other side we are having the fresh water. Sea water on one side separated from fresh water on the other side. When hydrostatic pressure greater than the osmotic pressure is applied, the water flows from the seawater side to the freshwater side crossing the semi-permeable membrane. This we call it as reverse osmosis. If the water moves from freshwater side to the seawater side, we call it as osmosis. Some of the semi-permeable membrane can be used are, we call it as SPM, cellulose acetate, cellulose butyrate, PMMA which is called as polymethacrylate. So reverse osmosis, in short, we call it as RO process. So we shall see the uses of this RO process. Applications of RO. It helps us to provide a drinking water. We call it as the potable water. So it provides potable water with very low hardness. Potable water is nothing but drinking water less than 2 ppm hardness. It gives water to be used up in the nuclear power plants. Food and beverage industries. Semiconductor manufacturing units. In metal finishing process. For the washing, cleaning purpose, we use this kind of pure water. And in pharmaceutical industries. So in this session, we have seen what is reverse osmosis connected with osmosis process, what is the advantages, disadvantages and applications of the reverse osmosis in various fields. Thank you all. Hope you all have understood. Thank you.